So can I ask you why you're not vegan?
I guess I don't know. It's just I guess it's the shellfish, which is funny because when there's like a bug in our house, we try to save it. So
That's right.
Yeah,
So you don't consume any dairy, no egg?
no.
And what about other aspects other than food? Like you pointed out her shoes, but what about
Yeah,
like,
I try to.
are you
buy-
aware of like animal testing and things like that?
Right. Yeah. Of course. We try to make the switch. I mean, like I haven't thrown away things that are like that we already have that are, but
Sure.
like when possible, like buy
Sure.
everything.
When you want to replace it.
Yeah.
But what about shellfish?
So yeah, shellfish. It's hard. I guess just coming from a Japanese background, like my mom thinks it's crazy that I don't eat sushi. And
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, the people that we speak to, doesn't matter where they're from, they always have that one excuse. I was just speaking to someone, she said, I'm Brazilian, so we eat a lot of meat. Someone else would say, I'm Middle Eastern, so we eat a lot of meat. So it's not just one culture or one country, it's every single country.
Yeah.
We all are, conditioned to eat animal products because we think it's healthy, we need it, whatever it might be, or we're just used to it because we've done it for so long.
Yeah.
But what do you think is about shellfish that you haven't made that connection? Obviously, you have made the connection with other animals, but not with shellfish. And when you say shellfish, what do you mean exactly?
Like shrimp,
Yeah.
clams. Not like I'm buying them by the pound and actually I have a dog and a cat and the dog is on a half vegan diet and I'm like cooking like sweet potatoes and all this stuff.
They love it.
She does, but a part of me is like I guess afraid of that she's not. And the cat, we have a cat too who is supposed to be a carnivore.
Dogs, 100%, they can be vegan.
Yeah.
It's so easy. With cats, they can be vegan. You just need to do your research because there's just a couple of things you need to make sure that they get.
Right.
It's not that it's impossible or it's a difficult thing. It's definitely possible.
Yeah. So and back to the shellfish
Yes.
thing. I guess I'm refusing to look at like the shrimp as having
Sentient beings.
A little bit easier with like cows and pigs.
Of course. Right.
Yeah, because we can understand that better. They're closer to us. They're more like us.
Yeah.
When
I
you look at,
personally wouldn't kill the shrimp either because
of course.
unless
Yeah.
I guess I had.
So you don't eat fish,
Not really.
but other sea animals.
Yeah.
So when you think about veganism, what does that mean to you?
Veganism.
What do you think veganism is about?
It's about not causing any suffering.
Where possible.
Right. When possible. When there are
So
alternatives.
do you think it is possible for you to stop consuming shellfish?
Yes. It's a
Because you don't
choice.
have to. That's
Right.
It's a
It's a
choice
choice.
that has victims involved. So when you focus on the victims, then the victim is smaller than a cow. So it's harder to grasp
Yes.
on, the idea. When you look a cow in the eye or a dog or a pig,
Right.
you see kind of a human, right? They look like us. But a shrimp, I understand that it's harder. A lot of people, when you say I'm vegan, they say, oh, so you don't even eat fish. Well, fish is an
Right.
animal, prawns, shrimp. So it's the same thing. They do go through the same experience.
Right.
They do suffer. And it's about, seeing them as an object.
Right.
Because they're not equal to us, but they're also not equal to, a table or a mobile phone or a vegetable. You can tell that they're sentient beings and they do go through that experience. So
Right.
if you can avoid harming them and exploiting them, why wouldn't you?
Right. Of course.
It's just about making that connection, and I
Right.
understand it's difficult because they look small and
Right.
they don't necessarily make any sound that you can hear, or it's not the same as any other animal. But if you do view them as sentient beings and you can live without harming them,
Right.
you don't need to.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
Because you have a responsibility. Every time you consume those products, you're supporting this.
Right.
You're supporting what's
Supporting
happening.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you know much about the seafood industry, but it's not just the fact that these animals are being exploited. For every single sea animal that you eat, there's so much bycatch,
Right.
and there's also all the ocean pollution and things like that. So it's not good for the environment either. And again, it's not good for your health as well because of all the pollution. So you're putting all of that in your body.
We were reading some of the comments on Facebook, so
Sure.
I guess the big topic was the service dogs.
Sure.
Or against the idea of using the dogs.
Yeah.
You guys are against
Yeah.
the idea of using anything for the benefit of
That's
humans.
right.
Okay. So they were saying something about like what if in the sense of like in situations of like saving people, like if the dogs can find the people, then why wouldn't we
Yeah.
use them? Like if it's your
That's
own
right.
child or your
Yeah.
family member, if there was an option, like wouldn't you take that? And like I guess I wouldn't know. Like
Yeah, that's right. When it comes to veganism, when we're
Yeah.
talking to people, they try to come up with the most horrendous excuses just to ignore what's on the
Right.
table, right? They come up with all these hypothetical situations. What if this? What if that?
right.
But in reality, we're probably never going to face those situations. And if we do, whatever decision we make in that moment,
Yeah.
it's the right decision that we could think of. But when it comes to service dogs, I mean, the term service dog means they're there to serve you, and they didn't give you their consent. And that's why, as an animal rights organization, we see that equal to animals being used for, animal testing and things like that. So they're basically being exploited. So it's not the same as the animal being, when you have an animal at home, a companion animal,
Right.
you're giving them love, you're taking them out, there's a relationship, you don't expect anything from that animal. But when you have a service dog, you're giving them shelter, but then you expect them to do certain things. And that's why we're against it. They keep them, those animals are trained to be a service dog, and they don't get to experience
Right.
life just like any other animal would.
Right.
And that's what we take issue with, because we wouldn't do that if we were to do that to humans, we would take an issue with it as well.
Right.
It's just taking away something that is not ours. Again, like I said, they don't give us consent. If I go and start working for a company, even if I hate my job, I decided to do that.
Yeah.
But those animals,
Right.
they don't have a say in it, and that's why we don't agree with it.
Right. It was interesting. People were like, "Well, they didn't say they want to be your pet either." And like,
Well, that's right. I mean, that's even a
Yeah.
deeper conversation.
right. Right. We don't actually agree with like the whole pet industry. too,
Yeah.
even though we have them, but they were like, one was a stray who is choosing to come into our house through the dog door. Our dog is a rescue.
Yeah. I mean, rescuing an animal from a shelter, of course, because they're already there.
Right. But no need to breed more.
Yeah, that's right. So puppy farms and all of that, absolutely, we don't agree with it. But the animals that are already there, if we can provide them with a home and give them some food and love, of course we would do that.
Right. It's really hard for her because she's 15 now. She like we started getting interested in all this about 3 years ago and like kind of slowly made transition, but none of her friends are, and they all think it's
they
crazy.
think it's like weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
it's
been
really
vegetarian
weird
for a while,
there.
but I mean, I feel like it's like kind of hard to like be like completely vegan, but
I understand that it might be uncomfortable because people around you don't get it, or they even try to mock you for it. But you just need to stay focused on these animals.
Yeah.
And it's great that you are now wanting to join us, because going vegan is, being vegan is a non-action. You're not actually doing anything. You just stop supporting this.
Yeah.
But then the next step is to speak up for them, educate others, so that we can make this process go faster.
Right. I feel like this is a good way to do it because you're not being
it's so like peaceful.
right, or you're not like being offensive to anybody.
No, we only speak to people
Right.
that are interested. We don't chase people down the street. We just
Yeah.
wait for them to come to us, and we're here to answer questions if they have, give them some information.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes we do get people that are annoyed by us,
Yeah.
but sometimes people are really grateful that we're here. I mean, I think about it, I've been vegan for 6 years, but I always think if I went past a cube like this 10 years ago, I would have gone vegan.
Yeah.
I just didn't know about it.
Right. I feel like it's easier nowadays, especially like in a
There's
big
so many,
city
like,
like
options
this.
and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, like I said, 6 years ago when I went vegan,
Yeah.
it wasn't like this.
Right. What was your reason?
Well, same thing. I actually watched fair footage. That's what got me. It wasn't the food industry, but it was fair footage. Foxes being skinned alive, and that just killed me. I watched 20 seconds of it, and I was just so angry. I was like, okay, now I get it. We don't need to be skinning them alive.
Right.
I don't need to be wearing fur, which I wasn't wearing anyway,
Right.
but leather and everything else. And then it just made sense. Why am I eating them?
For a
once
lot
you
of
make
people,
that
it doesn't
connection,
mean a lot. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Some people are just not open to it. They're not ready to absorb the information, or they're just being really resistant to it.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because change is difficult.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for so long.
Right.
But do you want to do the right thing, or you want to stay in darkness? So do you think you're going to stop eating the shellfish? Are you going to leave them
I
alone?
will. I will.
Did somebody give you a card?
No.
Can I give you one?
Yeah.
Do you live together?
Yes. Yeah, this is my daughter.
Oh wow. I didn't realize that.
yeah.
You look so young.
Oh, thank you.
I thought you guys were friends.
We are friends too. But.
So if I can just point out a couple of things,
Yeah.
vegan22.com is a support program for vegans, new vegans like you two, that just need a little bit of support. Did you see our seafood video? Have you seen it?
No.
Because we
but
do have.
I don't think.
It's on rotation.
Okay.
Well, I would say
yeah,
you
like
have
I've
to.
never even go fishing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You that's the thing. You can't do it because earlier you also said I wouldn't be able to kill
A shrimp.
myself.
Yeah. I know, like we were saving the fireflies out of our house, so you know.
But then when it's sitting on your plate,
Yeah.
it doesn't look anything like an animal. The final product, you just see it as food.
Yeah.
But if you were to go and do it yourself, you wouldn't be able to because you can't even watch the footage. So are you gonna go vegan?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you say you want to jump in now?
Yeah. Are you done?
Let's go. So I just need you to take a tiny step backwards, a little bit forward, and if you can just hold the screen as straight as possible. And while you're standing there, just look straight, don't look around. And as soon as you feel like you want to come out, just put your hand up. Before I mention the tally, I just want to shout two people out. Lydia and her mom. I spoke with them the first day, I think it was at Flatiron. They both went vegan on the spot and they've been coming to the event pretty much every day.
Yes! This is why we do this. Thank you, because this is why we do this. We hope that people like you will align their actions with the values that they say they have and go vegan and do the right thing and speak up for the animals. So thank you so much. We all obviously have much gratitude. Thank you.